So some more strategic questions to be thinking about and asking. How are we going to migrate the managers from 2 management teams to 1, and then all the people below them? So the organizational structure, organizational design, and how are we going to deliver that? Remembering that's different in different countries, given rules and regulations locally, and we need to think about that, as well as the short-term and long-term impacts around how these changes have. Remembering survivor syndrome, remembering that some people do well and thrive off these changes, change in power, change in budget, change in process and ways forward, and some people are going to fight against them. Thinking also about the employees or our colleagues and how this affects them. We've got retention. We want to keep key people. Quite need to understand who all the good people are and ensure that we keep them. And then how do we combine the 2 workforces? Or if we've got more, sometimes we buy a company and it's already made acquisitions that weren't fully integrated. So we have a number of workforces. How are we going to integrate those to an appropriate amount so that you've got a good set of people moving forward in the right direction to deliver our strategy? Obviously, discussing with people openly and transparently what we're up to and how we're moving forward so that people trust us and know when we say we're doing something, that's what we're doing. Obviously, thinking about the business processes and how that can be changed and affected, where it's effective to spend money to improve them and where it's not. Perfectly happy with doing nothing on some things. We need to spend money to change something to improve it, and is there a cost benefit to doing that work? Because it obviously is not just the money spent, but changing the way people are working and acting and thinking. And so there's a lot of work that comes with some of these changes. Normal discussions around systems. Should we put them together? Shouldn't we? I've done some videos on IT systems. Obviously, thinking about the data within the systems is key. So I don't want to be waiting until we put the systems together, which may take a year, 2 years. I want to have an understanding of all the data and be able to bring it together so that we can then do a data analysis and have good understanding of our cost, good understanding of our revenue, understand how we're going to deliver reductions in cost properly and efficiently and effectively, and how we're going to increase revenue through cross-sell and upsell and make sure there's no dis-synergies, or we understand the dis-synergies and minimize them by collecting the data, doing our analysis, and then having our good cost people and our good revenue people improve sales and marketing and deliver quickly so that we actually reap the benefits of synergies faster, and therefore we make more money. Obviously, there's also policies around the corporate governance. So company A and company B, what corporate governance and policies and process have we got in each company, and how are we going to move forward? Do we need to review and change? Do we need to amalgamate? Really depends on the deal type, what we're buying, where we're buying, and how that works. And obviously the size difference. There's a cost sometimes to imposing large company way of doing it on a smaller company. I'm actually on a deal at the moment where a very large company is buying a smaller one, and we're discussing the concept of firstly upping and improving the smaller company, which increases the cost but brings it up to the level we need to be thinking about. And there's a discussion of imposing our big corporate way of doing it from the larger company, which might be overkill and increase the cost too much. We might actually need to hire people to do the extra admin to take that on, and that would potentially just increase the cost too much on the target company. So then we're discussing how that works with regard to profit and margin, EBITDA, and potential earnouts if we increase the cost, whereas the seller hadn't realized we were going to increase the cost that much. So how are we going to organize the earnout given the governance that we may need or want? And this obviously similar to the concept around health and safety when one company buys another one. Think manufacturing, chemicals, those sorts of things where we need to think about this sort of stuff. So now thinking about contracts, whether it be procurement or sales end, we're thinking about what contracts have we got in place and how can we reap synergies by moving our volume together and changing the contract, changing the supplier, renegotiating based on more volume, and how can we leverage to get more favorable terms. At the other end of that, we've got customers thinking that they might be doing that to our sales force. So how are we going to think about change of control clauses, thinking about customers that may want to renegotiate with us, and how can we, because of volume, and how can we thinking about bundling and moving to a different pricing discussion, a different sales and marketing discussion. Obviously, we've also got legal entity structures, thinking about our legal entities around the world. Even in one country, we may have a number of legal entities. And how does that work from where the contracts are, where the people are? Sometimes in private equity, we do a hive up. So the diligence is potentially a little bit less in some areas, but we want to clean everything up. We do a hive up, which means everything is in a new, nice, clean company. And so when we come to exit as private equity, we can explain to the person that's going to buy our company that there are certain things have already been tidied up, and we can guarantee that. So there's legal entity tidy up, there's hive ups, there's impact on various different things like accounting, tax, sales, manufacturing, and how we move things around the world. And then obviously the front end and the back end that goes alongside that around contracts for sales and procurement. Hi, I'm Danny Davis. I help plan the European side of a $6 billion deal with 30 countries and 30 work streams. I wrote the book M&A Integration, How to Do It, and I've been a guest speaker at London Business School for over 20 years. I do coaching, training and consulting. Give me a call or send me an email.